Duarte Show. I'm your host, Taajri Duarte. Politics in America are often framed as a fight between red versus blue, conservatives versus liberals. People don't actually stop to ask, what are these viewpoints? What do they really believe in? And why? Tonight's episode of the Duarte Show isn't about choosing sides, it's about understanding them. We're breaking down core ideas between conservative viewpoints, and liberal viewpoints. Where did they come from? What do they prioritize? And why do they clash on issues like government power and social issues and individual freedoms? Because you can't challenge the system if you don't understand it. Welcome to the Youth Counter-Revulsion. Welcome to the Duarte Show. Thank you for joining. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to this video and make sure you follow us on Spotify. Thank you. Tonight I am with Emmanuel Noble. He is a conservative, but a liberal conservative. And today we will be asking him questions about the topics we were talking about last episode on ICE, Donald Trump, and the elite. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
I'm very happy to have you here. So, Emmanuel, you've been watching and you've been keeping up with everything that's been going on with ICE. What is your response? And as a conservative yourself, how do you feel about everything that's going on?
I'm very disappointed in their actions as of recently. I mean, I do think people who come to our country illegally should be kicked out, but I don't like the thought of killing people.
Well, killing people is wrong. We know that for a fact. But many conservatives will throw out there in the Constitution, they will get their due process, but it's not fair to the American people who are getting their taxpayer money spent on a federal agency that is killing Americans. I mean, my question is to you now, as a conservative, I don't know if you supported Trump ever in your life, but as a conservative, do you think Donald Trump should be the leader of the Conservative Party for the next decade? Or like the face of the party?
I do believe we might need a new face, but as it stands currently, we won't be able to change that for a while. He has too much power for us to change the face of the Conservative Party.
And do you think that if we have a conservative president, do you think they will go down the same path as Donald Trump?
It's very possible, but I think anyone at this point in time would be better.
So, do you think that what happened in Venezuela when we invaded the country and captured its leader, do you think that it was justified enough for us to do that? As a conservative yourself, you believe about conserving and not changing any policies. Do you believe in that stance where we will not change anything?
I would say yes. I do.
Why?
Well, I believe that we shouldn't change anything because, okay, so we went there to Venezuela and we took the dictator and his wife. But I believe even though we did that, I feel like we have every right to, because at the end of the day, we are a country, and from time to time we do. Take land.
Well, Venezuela is not part of the United States. Venezuela is an independent country with an independent leader, with independent elections. Americans don't control Venezuela. Do you really think that we went there to liberate them and give them freedom, as President Donald Trump said?
That's debatable, and that's what we're doing. So, yes, I think that is what we're doing. Yes.
But do you think, I mean, many people said before, as Nicolas Maduro was elected as president by his own people, do you think it's right, and do you think the American government had the right to just go in there and be like, I want your leader, and you're going to be under the U.S.'s code?
I don't think it's right, but I do see the benefit of gaining that land.
But what do you see the benefit? Because Donald Trump and everyone, the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of Foreign Affairs, all said that the only reason why we went after Venezuela was because it was for the oil.
Well, as a conservative, for our country, we built our country on oil, so I believe we have the right to go.
Well, Manny, the elite, let me just say, the elite would want you to believe that, right? But they don't care about the people in Venezuela.
That is true.
Hell, they don't even know who's running the country. Because Trump is like, oh, we're going to take over Venezuela and we're going to control it. It's only because of the oil preserves they have, right?
Right.
Just because America, doesn't have the oil reserves doesn't mean we need to attack the country. That's an act of war. And then while that was happening, may I remind you that Putin said, if we have answers, we might join. Brazil wants answers. Countries still want answers, and there's still no answers given. The American people are asking themselves, why? Trump supporters I know, personally, has said, I made a mistake on voting for him. So what makes you think, as a conservative, that we are allowed to do so?
Well, I did say earlier that, well, no, I didn't mention this. I don't exactly support Trump, but for the sake of our country, I do believe when we have the chance, we should go forward and take what we need. And what we need was oil.
Well, first of all, America can build its own oil plants and everything because we have the resources here. We just don't need to go into another country and say, we want this, we're either going to take it one way or the other. Because if you really look at it, the conservative viewpoints for everything is to conserve, and Trump's plan, first of all, the president's plan, was to put America first. Attacking a country that was, first of all, it is an independent nation, has its own government, own constitution, own laws, own president, own everything, right? What does it make? Does it make it right that we are putting America first? Or is that really putting America first? Or is that putting the elite first and money first?
When you say it like that, it is putting the elite and the money first.
Because this whole show is about making sure the elite gets revealed for what they are. The elite, like Donald Trump getting over $1 billion from AIPAC, or people like Marco Rubio, who's in the cabinet, who advised him to do so. And now Trump is saying he's putting Marco Rubio in charge of Venezuela. Do you think that is conservative viewpoints, or do you think it was all just a scheme just to get the elite back in power after they lost in 2020?
I think it is very much a scheme, but if there is a way that, like, I or my country can benefit from it, I will agree.
Well, Americans every day are not benefiting from military spending. I mean, look at the military parade we have there. That's adding extra, well, I believe it was $40.5 billion just for a parade for Donald Trump's little flag wave for him to be impressed with himself on his own birthday. I mean, look, he wants to have a celebration for New Year's Eve for America's 250th birthday. You know how much money that's going to cost the American taxpayer today, just for that alone? Donald Trump raised inflation by, I believe, currently reports are saying by 4%. Since 2020, once he left office, 2021, inflation was at the lowest rate under President Joe Biden. With Trump, he comes in, he raised it by 4%. Do you think Donald Trump is really a conservative, or do you think he's just a scammer?
I wouldn't say a scammer. That is a bit extreme. But I will say he's doing a lot of things for his benefit.
I mean, what, making a ballroom and making an arch like they have in France? So, when we speak about the U.S. government doing things that are unconstitutional, do you really believe that Donald Trump has the right to remain in power for the next 2 years that he's in office?
No, I don't believe that.
Well, I mean, there's many conservatives that really believe that Donald Trump is doing a great job, even though their job is, if they work in a job, they just got cut, or Medicaid cuts happened.
I believe if what he was doing was for the middle class, it would be better for America. Mm-hmm. But what he's doing only benefits the rich. So I can't go along with anything that he says.
I mean, in early 2024, he was at a party with all his top donors and rich people, the top 1%, and he was like, "We're gonna make sure you get tax cuts," and he achieved his goal on getting them tax cuts. If you look back when I mentioned last episode, when his 2017 Jobs and Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, that added over $1 trillion to our national debt. Do you think that Donald Trump's big beautiful bill, if it has no connections to anyone, um, do you think that bill is really gonna keep adding trillions of dollars, which it is? That they keep funding ICE agents who are killing American people. Do you think that ICE is really gonna keep getting money from the U.S. government, or do you think we could go to a government shutdown by next week?
I do believe I can see a government shutdown coming, but I do think we should stop funding ICE because if we're heading towards a government shutdown, wouldn't it be better if we got rid of ICE?
I mean, the Democrats are fighting to make sure ICE either gets abolished or spending gets cut. Meaning, and the Democrats are raising questions on why are ICE agents having guns and bear mace and tear gas if they're not police officers?
That's true.
American citizens shouldn't have to fear for their life. I mean, former Vice President Kamala Harris said Donald Trump will send an army, and within a couple months of his presidency, he sent ICE agents to California and used the National Guard to go after them. To wrap it up here with you, do you really think that the American public should stop trusting the Trump presidency? As a conservative yourself.
As a conservative myself, yes. As I said, I don't really trust in Trump's words, and I feel even though there is a lot of conservatives who still do, they will come to realize that it's not good for us.
Well, thank you, Manny, for coming on the show. I appreciate you very much. Thank you. Back to the Duarte Show. I'm with another amazing person, Stanley. Welcome to the show.
Hello, TJ. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Well, let's pick it up from where I left with the other person, Emmanuel Noble. With Donald Trump's administration doing everything they can to protect their word and protect their people inside the government, do you think by the end of midterms that the Democrats will propose a bill, not a bill, but like a proposed impeachment to remove and impeach them?
I don't think that it's going to be only the Democrats. I think a lot of people within the grand old party, his own party, by the way, are tired of what he's doing because he's really focused himself on the interests of the United States, but in the terms of fulfilling first the interest of his APAC donors and the interest of Israel, and also focused himself a lot on the economic aspect of his personal gain and the personal gain of those close to him, rather than the collective gain of the country.
So do you think that, and this is kind of obvious, do you think that Donald Trump used the fear tactic of if Kamala wins, prices are going to go high and there's going to be crime and there's going to be so much war, when it turns out that Donald Trump was really the one raising prices on things and practically crashing our economy within 6 months of his presidency?
Well, I mean, these are tactics that are used by every politician at the end of the day. Political ads will always be made to try to manipulate your train of thought into believing what the person wants you to think. So, yes, Trump did indeed use that alongside a lot of his own donors who, sponsored ads for him, and alongside a lot of his rivals as well, whether it be of the Democratic Party or of independent parties. But yes, Trump did in fact do that, and it is a generic politician tactic.
So do you think that APAC is going to continue to fund politicians, and do you think it's soon enough time, in a time frame that we have right now, do you think America could be saved from lobbyists like Donald Trump himself?
APAC will continue funding politicians. It has done it since it was founded as the American Zionist Council way back in the 50s, 50s, I believe. APAC was prosecuted by President Kennedy. He criticized the way that it influenced politicians. He criticized the amount of money that they poured into politicians. He criticized all of their actions. And what he wanted for the AZC was for it to register as a foreign agent so that it was not tax exempt. He wanted for there to be investigations to occur about the ACC's actions. Now, the ACC did not register as a foreign agent until November 22nd of 1963, which is by coincidence the same exact day that Kennedy was assassinated. And years later, not years later, exactly a year later, when Lyndon was in power, he took away all the prosecution against against the ACC, and it became tax exempt again. And many years later, it rebranded itself as APEC. Now, the question at hand is, can America be saved? Well, not America, but the United States. Can the United States be saved from lobbyists such as Trump, such as APEC, and such as other super PACs? I believe personally, not within a 10-year frame, not within a 20-year frame. It is something that will happen within perhaps a 40-year frame, such as when the party switch happened. It will be, if you would describe it in a woke term, it would be a grand awakening of people, a realization that what these corporations are doing is they are buying politicians, regardless of which side they are on. Okay, they do not care which party is in power. What they care about is that their interests are fulfilled. They will continue buying politicians for the time being, and they've done it for many years, and they will continue doing it. And there will be a grand awakening. You could say that. There will be a realization that these PACs, that these corporations should not exist, okay? Especially super PACs. And I don't think it is going to be very in a soon coming time. It will be, like I said, in a long period of time, perhaps 40 to 50 years. And then perhaps action will be taken against these PACs and super PACs, specifically APEC.
Do you think that the American and the general public in America is finally realizing that what Donald Trump said back in 2024 and also in 2023 is just a flat out lie?
Could you define what he said?
Well, he said that on day one that he will get prices down, and it's now the 21st of January, and prices have went up by 4%. He said that there will be no wars under him. Currently, Donald Trump has bombed Iran, he has invaded Venezuela, and now he's threatening Greenland. Do you think those lies, fundamentally, with a common sense brain from an American, do you think those Americans who voted for him and anyone who didn't vote at all are now realizing the lies he was saying?
I think anyone with enough, of a studied past, anyone with enough education, and when I mean education, I don't mean having attended school, but anyone with critical thinking and common sense can realize that what he said were indeed lies. It's been a fiscal year since he has been sworn into office, and his first promise, as he said, was that he would lower prices upon the first day. That did not happen one bit, as we've seen. It has not just been egg prices. You could blame the egg prices due to the egg shortage, but it has not just been egg prices. It has also been the prices of general food and the cost of living in general. Prices of petroleum and not petroleum. Prices of gasoline and diesel have gone up significantly, and the reason for that is because, number one, his tariffs. Okay, the tariffs, the way they work is So like I was saying, the way the tariffs work is that they impose a tax basically upon the companies that are importing products here into the United States, and they have to pay that out of their own pocket to then have the product be sold and available here at the United States and to be retailed. Now,
Right, we're back. We had to switch rooms, but we're back with Mr. Vasquez. Continue what you were saying.
so as I was saying, these tariffs are imposed upon the companies that are importing their products into the United States. They have to pay out of their own pocket. But in return, no company is going to sell a product at a loss simply because a government is telling them, oh, we're going to increase the fee that you have to pay to import this product here, simply because your government, we don't support of it. And that is the main issue why Donald Trump is in a financial war with China. He simply dislikes the fact that China has a $1 trillion surplus to their financial economy right now. They have surpassed the economical state of the United States currently, and they have less debt than us, and they're simply, as an economic model, superior than us. And that is one of the reasons why the tariffs were imposed upon China. The other countries, it was for similar reasons, although it wasn't necessarily simply because they had a better economy than us.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them were simply because their political views did not align with ours. So, no company from this country or from any other country is going to, is going to give their product at a loss. They calculate their prices so that they have profit. Nobody wants to minimize or lower the amount of profit they make or sell products at a loss, like I've mentioned around 3 times now. So what they do is they simply inflate the price. They accommodate it to the percentage of the tariff, and that's why we see so many, increased prices. Now, all these products that are being imported into the United States, because all that is higher, that defines the increase in products of even domestic products in the United States. And things that are grown here, things that are cultivated here. That means the same, but things that animals that are that lived here, that are nurtured here, they also their meat, their eggs, all that, like for chickens, for example, all that, it increases domestically.
So, with the tariffs just crashing through our economy as we speak, is there a way, do you think, our economy can even rebound from it? Or do you think it's just done's up and something has to be over redoed and fixed? Do you think taxes have to be raised again just to fix our economy?
Well, the economy is going to keep increasing as we see it. It historically increases. Interest rates go up each year, and inflation goes up each year. But the difference is that before it was at a steady rate. Nowadays, it is at an exponential rate. Okay, it does not increase. I believe, I may be wrong, but each year the inflation rate was around 1%. Now it is, in the last year, it has grown by 4%, which is a lot within a fiscal year. That is an increasingly amount. Historically, that would be around 4 years worth. Now we are possibly heading into what could be seen as a recession, and that could be prevented if financial ties are made stronger again with these countries that we've so isolated by placing these tariffs upon them. But it is something that will take many, many years to overcome if we do not strengthen our financial ties, if we do not be rid of ourselves of these tariffs. And when we want to discuss the other promises that Donald Trump also made within his campaign, such as being a precedent of peace, being a precedent that will, not just a precedent, but someone who will only promote peace, I believe that Trump has not promoted peace in any way possible. And that is because, number one, invading a sovereign nation with a democratically elected president that was democratically reelected and who represents the PSUV, one of the leading parties in Venezuela, who aligns with the popular Chavez views within Venezuela. That is not something that a president and imposer of peace would do. Okay? We have simply gone there. We have invaded the nation simply because we did not like the actions of the president. We did not like his political stance, and we did not like his heavy criticism, especially Donald Trump, due to the over $230 million that he's received from AIPAC and Zionist lobbies. He was extremely unhappy by the actions of Venezuela when in regards of the conflict currently going on between Palestine and the state of Israel. Now, my stance on that is that Israel simply should not exist historically, since the Philistines assimilated with the Canaanites and the Canaanites expelled the Israelis. But that is something of another topic that we may discuss later on if we wish. But those are the main reasons why Trump was very unhappy with Venezuela. You cannot simply claim that somebody is connected to narcotics and then go and liberate another person who was convicted, accused, and
Before we end tonight, I want to take a moment to step back because politics today moves too fast. It seems we went from a country of George Washington and independence to a country of hate, hope, and fascism. Every day, everything is reduced to a headline, to a clip, to outrage, to viral moments designed to make us angry instead of be informed. And when politics become nothing but emotion, something dangerous happens. We stop thinking, just like what happened on January 6th of 2021. Conservatives and liberals are not enemies. They are Americans who view the world through a different lens, through different experiences, values, fears, and hopes. And yet, we constantly were told we're supposed to hate each other just for the simple idea of having different beliefs. Social media awards outrage. Cable news benefits and makes profit from division. Politicians win elections by creating fears. Like recently, Donald Trump in 2024 worked on the fears of the Christian community. But no one, but none of this, and no one who does this make life better. Disagreement is not a distraction. Disagreement, in fact, is the foundation of democracy. If everyone thought the same way, there would be no progress, no reform, no justice, no growth. But disagreement without respect becomes chaos. Think about it. We have every right. Every right we have today came from debates, civil rights, voting rights, workers' protections, freedom of speech. If all of it came from people clashing over ideas, not destroying each other from having them, we will see the outcome of what happened when the Constitution was made, and soon the added amendments when it was made. Our generation is inheriting a country that feels divided, angry, and broken. We have a choice, and we continue the cycle or break it. Breaking it doesn't mean pretending differences don't exist. It means comforting them honestly. And it means listening before reacting. It means asking a better question instead of shouting louder answers. It means caring more about solutions than scoring points. We inherit a time, and we're going to inherit a time, where the American general public will be so divided that we can't fix an issue that's affecting voters today. If conservatives is your idea, if your ideas matter, if you're liberal, your ideas matter. If you don't fit in either boxes, your voice, and your vote matters too. Because democracy only works when people believe in their voices. Youth and youth voices matter now more than ever. Because the decisions being made today will shape the world we grow up in, our economy, our freedoms, our safety, our future. If we disengage from what's happening in our world, others will decide what happens to our future. The Counter Youth Revolution exists because we believe young people can do better. Better than blind by loyalty or blinded by the lobbyists, like people who take money from APAC. Better than politicians' hatred. Better than empty activism. We believe in a reinformed rebellion, challenging power with intelligence, not negligence. So, wherever you fall politically, here's a challenge: learn, listen, and question. And when you speak, speak with a purpose. Because the future of democracy won't be decided by politicians alone. It will be decided whether our generation chooses understanding over outrage, courage over emptiness. Young voices just don't need to react. We need to think. We need to think wisely. We need to think like American people. We need to lead the generational rebellion. We need to lead and need to stand up against the monarchy and the oligarchy that we're seeing in our country. Donald Trump is the biggest threat to democracy today, as proven from 2020 to 2024. But simply, the American people did not listen. Now, many Trump supporters are regretting their vote because they realize Donald Trump is the threat, and they voted the threat in. He is threatening to cancel midterm elections, which is unconstitutional. He is threatening to seize Greenland, which is illegal because Greenland is part of Denmark. Donald Trump captured the president of Venezuela, which is illegal. The American people are angry, and his polling numbers are not looking any better. Thank you, and I hope you join the Youth Counter-Revulsion. If you're interested, make sure you subscribe here on YouTube and you follow the podcast here. Here also, if you're listening on Spotify, make sure you follow it here on Spotify as well. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for joining in and tuning into the Youth Counter-Revulsion. I'm your host, Taajri Duarte. Good night.